Peace be with you. You are not here by chance. You are not listening by accident. That you were drawn here because something in your spirit has been searching for answers, for peace, for clarity, and perhaps for love that feels like it came from heaven itself. So let me speak to your heart gently, clearly, truthfully, because what I'm about to tell you is not only deeply spiritual, it is part of something sacred that God has already begun in your life. The one you least expected, the person you may have overlooked, or even misjudged, is the one heaven has been whispering about. Yes, it's them. The one who doesn't fit the mold you imagined. The one who showed up at the wrong time, but with the right spirit. The angels approve. And here's why. You see, the way God chooses is never based on surface, not on appearance, not on status, not on perfection. God chooses based on heart. He chooses based on spiritual readiness, on assignment, on what two souls can accomplish together for His glory. And often, the person God sends looks nothing like the person you thought you were waiting for. They may carry a past. They may speak quietly. They may still be learning how to walk in the light. But oh, how heaven rejoices when two imperfect souls begin to reflect His love back to one another. That is what you're being called into. A love with purpose. A relationship not formed in fantasy, but forged in faith. This person, this unexpected one, carries something only your soul was meant to receive. And what they carry cannot be seen at first glance. It must be discerned. Angels do not shout, they whisper. And the whisper around you has been growing. Pay attention. Your spirit has felt it. That quiet stirring. That odd peace in their presence. This is God's doing. They are not perfect, but they are positioned, not polished, but chosen. And it's not just about how they treat you, but about how they see God in you. Because the one who truly sees you must first see Him. There have been many people who seemed right, but they were not aligned. And perhaps you've felt exhausted by the waiting, or afraid to trust again, or unsure whether your heart is even hearing correctly anymore. But I want to remind you gently, God is not the author of confusion. He is the God of peace. And when the time is right, His will feels like clarity. His plan feels like alignment. Even when it surprises you. Even when it shows up in the form of someone who doesn't check the boxes you once made. Your soul knows, not through logic, but through resonance. Listen closely, beloved. God often hides His greatest treasures in the most unexpected vessels. This person may not be the one your mind chose, but they are the one your spirit recognizes. And the angels, they are rejoicing, because you're beginning to noticing the softness in their tone, the way they speak life, even without meaning to, the moments of divine timing when they show up right when you need peace. It's not coincidence. It's confirmation. You've prayed for something real, something lasting, something God ordained. And here it is, wrapped in simplicity, clothed in humility, delivered through someone who might still be learning to believe they're worthy of love. And yet, they are. So are you. Before we go deeper, if this message is resonating, if it feels like truth warming your soul, then I lovingly invite you to support this peaceful space. Subscribe for more gentle, spirit-led guidance. Leave a comment with your reflection or prayer request. Let's walk this road together. And if this message has blessed you, consider clicking Super Thanks below to help this channel continue offering peaceful content that speaks life into weary hearts. Your kindness helps us reach more souls with God's tender truth. Now, let's return to what the angels see. They are drawn to purity of heart, to sacred unions formed through surrender, not striving. And when God appoints someone for your life, He gives the angels charge to protect that connection. Sometimes they block others from entering. Sometimes they delay what you thought you wanted. Sometimes they disrupt your plans. Because what's coming is holier than anything you've imagined. You are not missing it. You're awakening to it. You're beginning to see with the eyes of the Spirit. And this person, unexpected, yes, but deeply aligned with your calling, is part of God's unfolding design. Maybe they've shown you kindness when no one else did. Maybe they listen without rushing. Maybe they challenge you gently, wisely, to rise higher in your faith. That's not chance. That's divine arrangement. And if you've wondered why you can't shake the feeling that they were placed in your life for a reason, you're right. God moves in quiet orchestration. He doesn't need lightning to speak. Sometimes his clearest yes sounds like peace. Not perfection, but peace. Peace that comes when you speak to them. Peace that settles in when they pray for you. Peace when you imagine a future not built on fantasy, but on faith. That's where angels gather. Around love that is rooted in God. Around hearts that are healing, not hiding. Around unions that give glory, not just comfort. You are being prepared. And so are they. You may not have met at the ideal moment, but heaven has no calendar, only timing. Divine, sacred timing. So breathe. Don't rush this. Don't overthink it. Let it unfold like a sunrise. Let the Spirit confirm what your spirit already knows. This unexpected person might just be the answer you never thought would come this way. And the angels, they know. They've seen you both. They've walked beside you both. And now they're guiding you toward one another, step by quiet step. This is the beginning of something sacred, of something real. And as we close today, I invite you gently, humbly, to keep your heart open, to let God speak into the places you've closed off, to trust that His choice, even if it surprises you, is for your good and for His glory. If this message has spoken to you, take a moment to share it with someone you love, someone who needs a gentle word today. And know that your presence here is not forgotten. You are seen. You are heard. You are deeply, dearly loved. And the angels, they are smiling, because you're beginning to see what God has always known. Welcome back, beloved. Take a deep breath. Let peace return to your spirit. Let the noise of the world grow quiet. This is your time to simply be, to listen, to receive, to feel God's presence again. You are safe here. You are seen, and yes, you are being guided. Let's return to the message that began unfolding in your heart. This unexpected person, the one God chose, still might not fully make sense to your mind, and that's okay. Because God's plans are not always logical, but they are always holy. The angels are not confused by what's happening. They see the alignment forming. They see the prayers that went up in silence now being answered in real time. But because this person isn't who you imagined, you may have questioned it. You may have dismissed it. You may have said, God, this can't be it. They're too different. They don't fit what I prayed for. They're not ready. But do you remember what you truly asked God for? You asked for something real. You asked for someone who sees your soul. Someone you could grow with, not just go with. And God, in His wisdom, sent someone who reflects your next season, not your past preferences. Sometimes the blessing looks like disruption. Sometimes love shows up looking like humility, like stillness, like someone who doesn't shout their arrival, but simply stays. They're not trying to impress you. They're trying to understand you. They don't make promises they can't keep. Instead, they show up. Even in their imperfection, they choose you in quiet ways. And that, beloved, that is holy ground. The angels are not impressed by outer things. They pay attention to movements of the heart. They see how gently this person watches over your spirit, how they pray for you when you're not watching, how their soul turns toward you, not to possess you, but to walk beside you. And that walk, slow, patient, intentional, is what the heavens have been waiting for. Some people run. Some chase. But the one God sends stands. They don't try to rush your healing. They don't shame your past. They simply honor your process. That's why the angels approve. Because this is the kind of love that God Himself authors. Let your heart receive this truth today. You are not too late. You have not missed your person. And you are not imagining the quiet pull toward them. It's real. And it's holy. They were never meant to look like the fairy tale. They were meant to remind you of Jesus, patient, kind, faithful. Flawed, yes, but striving toward the light, not hiding from it. You may still wonder, how can I be sure? The answer is simple. Peace. Do you feel peace when they're near? Do you feel closer to God when they speak? Do you feel like you can rest, not perform? These are the signs. Not loud declarations, but sacred confirmations. And if your spirit is still unsure, pray, fast, wait with God. Because when He reveals, He also brings clarity. Pause with me, dear. 1. And if this message is gently speaking to your spirit, I invite you to help this sacred space remain a sanctuary for hearts like yours. Subscribe for more God-centered, peaceful videos. Leave your thoughts or prayer requests in the comments below. Someone else might find healing in your words. And if you feel led to support, a humble, super thanks allows this channel to reach more weary souls with messages grounded in truth, not trends. Your support keeps this mission alive, a quiet light in a noisy world. Now come closer. Let's go deeper into what heaven sees. God doesn't just pair people based on personality. He joins souls by spiritual purpose. This unexpected person may carry an anointing you didn't know you needed. Maybe they call out your courage. Maybe they soften your anger. Maybe they remind you who you are when life makes you forget. That is no small thing. That is partnership. That is love shaped by God's hands. They may not say all the right words, but their presence speaks volumes. They may not be everything you thought you wanted, but they carry everything you need to grow. This is what the angels are gently aligning. Not fantasy, but faith. Not quick attraction, but divine alignment. Some people come into your life like storms, loud, impressive, brief, but this one comes like a stream, still, nourishing, lasting. God isn't just giving you someone to love. He's giving you someone who helps you love Him better. And when your relationship draws both of you closer to His heart, that's when heaven approves. You are being prepared to love differently, to love deeply, to love with eternity in mind. This means surrendering your checklist. It means letting go of control. It means trusting God knows your needs even better than you do. And yes, you may have to relearn love. You may have to open your heart slowly. But the person God has chosen for you will wait, not because they're perfect, but because their heart is aligned with His. Even when they don't have the words, they'll offer their presence. Even when they're unsure, they'll still honor you and the angels. They'll be near, guarding what heaven has ordained. If your heart is beginning to open again, don't be afraid. God never leads where His grace won't keep you. This person may feel unexpected, but that's often how divine blessings come. They enter quietly, they speak gently, and they stay faithfully. As we prepare to close this moment, remember, love, when it's from God, doesn't perform. It doesn't chase validation. It simply reflects His heart through presence, patience, and prayer. If you've been touched by this message, share it with someone who may be in the same season of waiting, uncertainty, or quiet hope. And remember, you're not walking alone. Heaven is near, God is guiding, and love is coming. In a form you didn't expect, but your soul will soon understand. Let the angels rejoice. You're beginning to believe again. Welcome back, dear soul. Take a deep breath. Let your spirit grow still. Let God's presence draw near. You've walked with this message long enough now to sense what's unfolding within you. Something sacred is awakening. Something you didn't know you needed, but now you realize God had it prepared all along. There's a love that surprises the mind but completes the soul. And this person, this unexpected one, may be God's gentle answer to prayers. You could barely speak out loud. The angels have seen how long you've waited, how long you've wept in silence, how often you've wondered, God, will anyone truly see me? Will anyone stay? And heaven's reply is this person, the one you almost overlooked, the one who doesn't arrive with grand speeches but carries quiet strength. They are not your plan. They are God's provision. And the difference, beloved, is everything. When God chooses someone for your life, He looks beyond beauty, titles, or timing. He sees who will walk with you through valleys and mountaintops. He chooses the one who mirrors His patience, who listens more than they speak, who would rather pray with you than perform for you. This kind of love, it's not loud, but it lasts. It doesn't always feel exciting, but it feels safe. And most of all, it honors God. That is why the angels are rejoicing. Because heaven does not measure love the way the world does. The world says, choose someone exciting. Heaven says, choose someone eternal. The world says, pick the one with the best image. Heaven says, follow the one who carries God's image. And the person God is pointing you toward, unexpected as they may seem, is one who carries light even in their brokenness. Yes, they are still growing, but so are you. And it is your growth, your mutual surrender to God, that creates the foundation for a sacred love. Do not worry if they don't know everything yet. Do not fear if they still question their worth. Because the one God chooses for you will grow beside you, not compete with you, not shrink you, not distract you from your purpose. They will protect it. They will water it. They will believe in it, even on days when you forget. And perhaps that's the greatest confirmation of all. Not in how they impress you, but in how they lift your spirit toward God. Let me ask you something gently. Have you noticed how your heart feels lighter when they're near? Have you noticed how conversations with them often turn toward faith, healing, or truth without trying too hard? That's not coincidence. It's covenant forming. The angels are not focused on flashy moments. They are drawn to the quiet miracles, the ones that unfold in kitchens, in late-night prayers, in tearful confessions met with mercy. The angels are smiling because heaven knows what is forming, something that no human mind could have scripted, but something God has written long before either of you were ready. This is not just romance. It's restoration. God is pairing you with someone who has also been in hiding, also been waiting, also been praying. And now God is saying, it's time. It may still unfold slowly. It may be tender at first, but do not rush what God is writing. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust that the one who comes with peace is not a distraction, but a destiny. Pause here with me. If your heart is stirring, if you feel a sacred yes rising in your chest, then I invite you to help continue this mission of peaceful spiritual guidance. Subscribe for more gentle, spirit-filled videos like this one. Share your reflections or prayer requests in the comments. This community is here to support you. And if this message has touched your heart, you may click super thanks below to bless this channel. Your gift helps us keep reaching those who need peace, hope, and God's still small voice in a noisy world. And for every kind soul who supports, we offer our deepest gratitude. You are part of this sacred work. Let us return now to what truly matters. This person, who once seemed like just a background character in your story, may soon be revealed as the co-author of your next chapter. And when you look back, when you trace the divine fingerprints over your life, you will whisper, I didn't see it then, but now I know. God was guiding it all. He brought them not to distract you, but to align you, not to fix you, but to walk with you as He continues healing both of you. There's a reason their presence doesn't overwhelm. There's a reason their voice calms you. There's a reason you feel safe in their eyes, even when you don't fully understand why. Your soul recognizes something your mind is still catching up to. The angels are watching. They've seen the quiet obedience in your heart, the moments you turned down distractions, the times you chose prayer over settling, and now they are celebrating because this union, this divine pairing, was not rushed, it was refined. By time, by tears, by trust. You didn't choose each other out of desperation. You were led to each other by divine orchestration. So be still, dear soul. Let go of fear. Let go of doubt. And let this story unfold at the pace of grace. Don't sabotage it by expecting it to look like others. Don't compare it to your past. This is something new, something sacred, something God-breathed. Let your prayers guide you. Let peace lead you, and let the angels surround this unfolding bond with protection, wisdom, and favor. In time, you will see clearly. You will understand why this person, this quiet, unexpected soul, was always God's choice, not because they were flashy, but because they were faithful, not because they said all the right things, but because they honored you in silence, in prayer, and in patience. As we close this sacred message, remember, you are not late, you are not behind, you are not forgotten. You are right where God needs you. And the one who is meant to walk with you is being shaped by the same hands that are shaping you. What a beautiful thing it is to be chosen by God, and then to recognize that the person in front of you was also chosen for you. If this message has blessed your spirit, I encourage you one last time, subscribe to stay close to this quiet spiritual space. Comment below so we can lift your heart in prayer. Share this with a friend who may also be waiting on God's promise. And if you feel led, support with a super thanks to help us keep producing peaceful content for hearts just like yours. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening with your soul. May God continue to lead you, heal you, and surprise you with love you didn't expect, but deeply deserve. The angels approve, and heaven is smiling, because love is near. And this time, it is holy. Welcome again, beloved. You have walked with this message across many moments now, and each step you've taken has brought you closer, closer to clarity, closer to trust, closer to the heart of God. There is still more for your soul to receive, more peace, more understanding, more quiet knowing that confirms what you've been sensing all along. This person, the one you never expected, is still on your heart for a reason. They were not a passing thought. They were a divine interruption, sent by God, wrapped in humility, cloaked in a simplicity the world often overlooks. But your spirit noticed, and the angels, they've been near, whispering, preparing, covering what God has ordained, because this person, this gentle, surprising soul, was never meant to be ordinary in your life. They are part of your becoming. They are part of your calling. They are not your destination, but they walk the same road as you toward God's promise. What makes this relationship different is not how it began, not the fireworks, not the appearances, but how it keeps drawing you back to faith. To surrender, to deeper love. You don't feel addicted to them. You feel anchored by them. And that, dear one, is God's fingerprint. God doesn't send chaos. He doesn't stir obsession. He doesn't ignite confusion and call it chemistry. He speaks peace. He brings balance. He sends someone who knows how to sit with your silence and still feel connected. And this person? They've been learning too. Learning how to love without controlling, how to stay without needing a spotlight, how to listen without interrupting what God is doing in you. That's why the angels approve, because this isn't a distraction. This is discipleship in the shape of love. Have you noticed how you grow when they're near? How you think more deeply, speak more gently, pray more often. That's what heaven sees. Not just your comfort, but your transformation. God wants to bless you with someone who doesn't idolize you, but honors the God within you. Someone who's not chasing perfection but walking daily toward holiness. Someone who doesn't complete you because only God does that, but someone who complements what God is doing in you. So many people are searching for sparks, but the ones who carry fire for God, they look for depth, for integrity, for presence. And that's what this unexpected person carries. They may not have come dressed in your expectations, but they are clothed in what you prayed for when no one saw your tears. God did. And he began forming someone who would not be intimidated by your strength or afraid of your softness. They may not know everything about your past, but they will honor your healing. And they won't weaponize your wounds. Instead, they'll help you hold them with grace. So, beloved, if your spirit is nodding, if you feel God saying, yes, this is for you, then I gently invite you to remain connected to this sacred space. Subscribe to continue receiving peaceful, spirit-filled videos that speak directly to your soul. Leave your prayer requests or reflections in the comments. You never know who you might encourage. And if you've been blessed by these words, a super thanks helps this message reach more seeking hearts. Your support keeps the light shining for those walking quietly toward truth and healing. Now, let us speak again about timing. Divine love doesn't always arrive when you think you're ready. Sometimes it arrives when your spirit is finally quiet enough to recognize it. And maybe this is why you didn't see them at first. Maybe the noise of your expectations made it hard to recognize God's gentle yes. But now that you've grown, now that you've surrendered, now that you've asked God to send what's real, you're beginning to see clearly. And so are they. They may be quiet, they may be uncertain, but they are watching, they are listening, and they feel the same stirrings you feel. Don't be afraid if it unfolds slowly. Sacred things often do, and don't worry if it takes time for both of your hearts to catch up with what your spirits already know. God has a way of preparing two people separately for one shared assignment. That's what he's doing here. He is not just giving you a relationship. He is giving you someone who will help you carry your calling. Someone who will stand beside you when the world turns its back. Someone who will pray when words fail. Someone who doesn't need the spotlight because they know who the light truly is. This is love in its purest form. Not loud, not rushed, not perfect, but planted by God, watered by patience, and protected by angels. So, if your heart has been wondering, is this really it? Could this truly be God? Let me remind you gently. He is not the God of confusion. He is not the God of torment. He's not the God of fear. He's the God of peace. And peace, even when it surprises you, is your confirmation. As we close this part of the journey, I want to speak directly to your waiting heart. Don't dismiss them because they came differently. Don't reject them because your old list said no. Look again. Pray again. Feel again. Let God surprise you. And if your spirit says yes, if you feel seen, known, and safe, then let love grow at the pace of grace. If this message has nourished your soul, share it with someone who needs comfort, clarity, or confirmation. Subscribe if you haven't already. This is your space too. And should you feel led to give, your super thanks will be received with a grateful heart and used to continue planting seeds of peace in a world so in need of God's quiet love. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are deeply loved. And you are being prepared for love that is rooted in heaven and watered by the Spirit. The angels approve. God approves. And one day soon, when your soul and theirs finally align, you will too. Welcome, beloved one. You've come so far. And your heart so open, so ready, is now stepping into deeper waters. You are beginning to recognize what once confused you. You are beginning to embrace what once frightened you. And more than that, you are beginning to trust what God is quietly revealing, this unexpected person, the one your mind still questions at times. is becoming clearer through the eyes of your spirit. What you once called coincidence, you now see as confirmation. What felt random now feels written. And the angels, they've been gently guiding you here all along. You see, when God chooses someone for you, He doesn't just look at compatibility. He looks at calling. He doesn't just ask, can they love you? He asks, can they walk with you through fire and favor alike? This person isn't perfect, but they are appointed. They may not have all the answers, but they have something you need, a heart that honors the presence of God. Let's go deeper, gently now. There's something you need to know. There's a reason God did not send the person you once dreamed of. There's a reason those doors were closed. There's a reason your old type was really just a test. God wasn't trying to hurt you. He was protecting you, and not just from heartache, but from a future not aligned with His purpose. You see, you have been chosen for something sacred. And the one who walks with you must carry the grace, the maturity, and the humility to steward what God is doing in and through you. Not everyone can walk that road. But this person, this unexpected one can. And will. They've walked through fire too. They've wept in silence too. They've been misunderstood, rejected, refined. And that's why your hearts are beginning to echo one another, not in pain, but in peace, not in need, but in knowing. They may not say it perfectly. They may not even understand yet what they're feeling, but they feel it too, that strange, sacred pull, that weightless calm when they're near you, that sense that somehow your presence makes the world feel steadier. That is the work of heaven. Let me pause gently and say, if your heart has been nourished by this message, please consider subscribing for more God-centered guidance like this. Leave your reflections or prayer requests in the comments. Let us lift one another in peace and love. And if you feel led, a quiet super thanks is a seed sown in faith, helping this mission continue reaching weary souls with truth that heals and hope that anchors. Now let's return deeply to what the angels see. They see the way your spirit lights up when you think of them. Not in infatuation, but in faith. They see the way you pray for them, even before you understand why you care so deeply. They see the way you protect their name, even in silence, even when no one knows. That's not emotionalism. That's spiritual loyalty. And spiritual loyalty is rare. It cannot be forced. It cannot be faked. It is placed there by God Himself when something holy is forming. And the angels, they surround this kind of connection because it carries purpose. This isn't about romance. It's about divine rhythm. Two souls, once walking separately, now hearing the same heavenly cadence. And slowly, they begin to walk as one, not always easily, not always smoothly, but always with surrender. God is not promising a fairy tale. He's offering a faith walk, a relationship rooted in grace, in forgiveness, in truth. And yes, in joy. Because love that is from God does not drain your soul. It waters it. So ask yourself, does this person bring me closer to God, or closer to the version of myself I left behind? Do they reflect heaven's kindness? Do they speak truth gently? Do they honor your boundaries and your journey without pushing, performing, or pretending? If so, don't run. Just because it doesn't look like what you expected doesn't mean it's wrong. It might mean it's finally right. You are not here to repeat cycles. You are here to build something sacred. And that sacred thing begins with peace. This is why the angels approve. Because you're not just choosing love, you're choosing legacy. You're not just falling, you're building. You're not just praying for a partner, you're preparing to co-labor with one in a season of deeper spiritual purpose. So be gentle with your heart. Be patient with the unfolding. And most of all, be open to a love that grows like light. Softly at first, but strong enough to illuminate everything that once confused you. If you still feel unsure, don't rush clarity. Let the Spirit continue to speak. And trust that God is not just working on them, He's also completing something in you. And in His timing, He will bring the two pieces together, not out of desperation, but out of divine design. As we close this part of the journey, let me speak this blessing over your soul. May your heart remain tender. May your discernment grow sharper. May you not miss what's real because it came dressed in humility. And may you feel the peace of God each time this person comes to mind. A sign from heaven that what's forming is not a fantasy, but a future written in faith. If this message has touched you, share it with someone walking a similar path. Let them know they are not alone. Let them hear that God moves, even in unexpected ways. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Stay near this sacred space. And if you'd like to support this gentle mission, a super thanks keeps the light shining for all those seeking peace. One word, one moment, one message at a time. God is not finished. Your story is still unfolding. And this person, this unexpected one, may yet be the one who stands beside you as the pages of your destiny are written in love, in light, and in full alignment with heaven. The angels are still watching, and they are still smiling because you are beginning to believe. Welcome back, dear soul. You've journeyed patiently. You've listened with your spirit, not just your ears. And now we arrive gently at the place where all the pieces begin to come together. What once felt uncertain now begins to feel ordained. What once seemed confusing now starts to rest in clarity. And what your heart feared to hope for is slowly being confirmed. This unexpected person, the one your soul keeps being drawn to, was not an accident in your path. They are part of a divine arrangement that God has been nurturing in secret. You see, heaven doesn't just drop people into your life randomly. It prepares hearts in parallel. It speaks to both spirits, sometimes even before the connection begins. It aligns steps you didn't even know were being guided. And this person, this surprising, sacred someone, has been growing quietly, waiting patiently, and being shaped, just as you have, by the loving hand of God. The angels have been watching, not because they needed to confirm your worth, but because they were guarding what would one day bless you. There were moments you almost gave up, moments when your heart grew tired of waiting, moments when you began to wonder, maybe what I'm sensing isn't real, but beloved, it was. And it is. God has never played games with your heart. He has only protected it, sometimes with silence, sometimes with delay, but always with purpose. The delay didn't mean denial. It meant preparation, because what God gives, He also guards. This person wasn't sent to you to entertain your loneliness. They were sent to love you through it. They weren't meant to fix your wounds. They were sent to walk beside you as God heals them. And the beauty of this bond is that it is not centered in appearance, or status, or timing. It is centered in God. Don't have to explain to everyone why you feel connected. You don't need the world's approval. When heaven already gave its yes, you don't need signs that shout. You already have a peace that whispers. And when God gives peace, it doesn't need to perform. Let's sit with this for a moment. This person may not be loud. They may not post about you. They may not speak in poetic words, but they will show you, in consistency, in kindness, in quiet devotion, that you are seen, that you are safe, that you are cherished. That is how heaven loves. And that's why the angels approve. They've watched you grow into someone who no longer needs temporary attention, but eternal alignment. They've watched you release your fantasy so you could receive your future. And now God is saying, this is my gift. Not what you expected, but exactly what you need. This love won't distract you from your purpose. It will protect it. It won't ask you to shrink. It will call you to rise. It won't make you forget God. It will make you cling to Him even more. And in this love, you'll know something you've never known before. That love isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, being honest, being committed when it's hard, not just when it's easy. This is what the angels rejoice over, not a wedding, not a picture, but a covenant. Two souls saying, I will walk with you through the unknown, because I trust the one who brought us together. Let me speak this now. If your spirit is being stirred, if your heart is finding peace in these words, then I lovingly invite you to take a moment, subscribe to this channel so you can remain rooted in this peaceful, sacred guidance. Leave your prayer requests or thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters, and your story may uplift someone else. And if this message has truly touched your heart, a super thanks is a beautiful way to bless this channel's mission. To continue spreading God's word in a world that so desperately needs truth spoken in love. Your support allows us to keep pouring peace into hearts. One message, one prayer, one sacred whisper at a time. Let us return now to the final truth heaven wants you to hold. This person, who showed up quietly, who didn't check all your boxes, who may still be figuring things out, was chosen, not just by circumstance, not by emotion, but by God. They are not your everything. They are not your savior, but they are your partner, your safe place, your co-laborer in love and purpose. They've seen your flaws and still choose to stay. They've felt your silence and still hear your heart. This is what holy love looks like. It holds space. It prays what it can't fix. It waits with patience, and it forgives with grace. You are not dreaming. You are discerning. And your discernment has been accurate. They were not what you expected, because they were never meant to be a reflection of your list. They were meant to be a reflection of your answered prayer. Let that sink in. You are not too broken for love. You are not too late for promise. You are not too much for someone made to hold you rightly. You are enough, because God lives in you, and He does not create without purpose. The one He sends will see what He sees. And when that happens, your heart will recognize it, not in excitement, but in peace. So breathe. You don't have to rush. You don't have to force. You are being led. Let the angels do their work. Let God finish the painting He's been creating across the canvas of both your lives. And when the time comes, when your spirit knows, when your peace is unshakable, you'll know that love has arrived. Not loudly, not dramatically, but divinely. It came quietly, but it was always holy. As we bring this final message to rest, carry this with you. Are not chasing love. Love is finding you, and when it arrives, you will understand why the angels smiled the first time. They saw your two souls begin to turn toward one another, because they knew this was God's choice all along.